Thraxus attacked again and again. His fury had taken over his thinking. He forgot all his training. He forgot all his strategy. He just wanted to destroy the human girl and her broken warhorse, but each attack failed. Lily and Valor moved around him like water around a rock. They were never where he expected. They were always one step ahead. Devastator was breathing hard now. The huge warhorse had used too much energy. Its movements were slower. Its plasma blasts were weaker. It had been designed for short, violent battles. It had not been designed for this long dance of dodging and waiting. Lily felt Valor's energy too. He was tired. But he was not as tired as Devastator. His smaller body used less energy. His bond with Lily gave him strength that the bigger warhorse did not have. The crowd was completely quiet. 3 million aliens watched without making a sound. They were seeing something that had never happened before. A human and a rejected warhorse were outfighting one of the greatest champions in the galaxy. Then Lily saw her chance. Thraxus made one more charge. But this time his anger made him careless. He pushed Devastator too hard. The huge warhorse stumbled slightly. For just a moment, his side was exposed. In any normal fight, this would be the time to attack. A blast of plasma to the weak spot. A killing blow, but Lily did not want to kill. She had never wanted to kill. She had another idea. Valor, she thought through their bond. Can you reach him? Valor understood. His neural crest blazed brighter than it had ever blazed before. He sent out a pulse of mental energy. Not to Lily, to Devastator. The huge warhorse stopped moving. Thraxus shouted commands. He pressed buttons on his control device. He kicked and pushed, but Devastator would not respond. The warhorse stood completely still, its 4 eyes unfocused, its body frozen. Through Valor, Lily reached out to Devastator's mind. She did not attack. She did not try to control. Instead, she showed him something. She showed him what she and Valor had. She showed him mornings in the cargo bay, when she would brush Valor's hide and talk to him about her day. She showed him nights when they would sleep side by side, not as master and servant, but as friends. She showed him the warmth of their bond, the trust, the love. She showed him that there was another way. Devastator had lived his whole life as a weapon. He had been bred for war, trained for destruction, controlled like a machine. No one had ever asked what he wanted. No one had ever treated him as anything more than a tool, until now, for the first time in his life, Devastator felt what it was like to be cared for. He felt what it was like to be seen as a person, not a weapon. He felt something he had never known existed, kindness. Thraxus was screaming now. His face was red with rage. He activated pain circuits in his control device, electrical shocks designed to force obedience. Devastator's body jerked and twitched, but the warhorse did not attack. He had felt something real for the first time in his life. He was not willing to give it up. Slowly, Devastator walked across the arena. His head was held high. His eyes were clear. He stopped beside Valor and stood there, 2 warhorses, side by side. Their neural crests glowing in perfect harmony. The arena exploded with sound. Aliens shouted and screamed. Some cheered. Some raged. Most just stared in disbelief. Thraxus had fallen off Devastator's back. He was lying on the ground, staring up at his warhorse. The creature he had controlled for 20 years was now standing with his enemy. "This is impossible," Thraxus whispered. "This is not how it works. This is not how anything works." Lily climbed down from Valor's back. She walked across the arena and stood in front of the fallen General. She was just a human girl. 17 years old? Small and thin and weak by any standard the galaxy used, but she had done what no warrior, number scientist, no general had ever done. She had changed everything. "Maybe it is time to learn a new way," she said. Thraxus had no answer. He had spent his whole life believing in strength. He had believed that the powerful ruled and the weak served. He had believed that kindness was just another word for weakness. And now, a weak human girl and a broken warhorse had defeated him. Without ever striking a blow, the officials came and declared the fight over. Under the rules, Lily had won. Devastator had chosen to join her side. Thraxus had been abandoned by his own war horse. He had lost everything. The next few months changed the galaxy. Lily did not keep Devastator as a prize. Instead, she gave him a choice. He could go back to military service if he wanted. He could retire to a peaceful world. Or he could stay with her in Valor. Devastator chose to stay. Other war horses heard about what had happened. Other rejected creatures in other parts of the galaxy learned about the human girl who had shown a different way. They learned that they did not have to be weapons. They did not have to be controlled. Lily started receiving messages. Owners who wanted to sell their broken war beasts. Creatures that had been thrown away like Valor, animals that were considered worthless. She bought as many as she could. Her father helped. Kethril helped. Even some of the aliens who had laughed at her in the beginning helped. Each creature she saved added to her mission. Each bond she helped form proved that her way worked. 3 years after the auction on Velar Prime, Lily Morgan stood before the Galactic Council. She was 20 years old now. Behind her stood Valor, healthy and strong. Beside him stood Devastator. And behind them stood dozens of other war horses that she had saved. "I am here to ask for a change in the law," she said. Her voice was calm but strong. War horses and other intelligent creatures should not be treated as property. They should not be bred without their consent. They should have the right to choose their own lives. The debate lasted for many hours. Many aliens spoke against her. They said the old ways had worked for thousands of years. They said that war horses were just animals. They said that humans did not understand galactic traditions, but many aliens spoke for her too. They had seen what she had done. They had felt the change that was spreading across the stars. In the end, the council voted in her favor. It was not a perfect victory. The change would take time. Some species would resist. Some traditions would be hard to break, but it was a beginning. That night, Lily stood on the observation deck of a space station. The stars spread out before her, millions of tiny lights in the endless dark. Valor stood beside her. Devastator was on her other side. "We did it," she said quietly. "We actually did it." Valor's response came through their bond. "Not words, but feelings, pride, joy, love, not we," he told her. You changed everything." Lily shook her head. She smiled. "No," she said. "I just bought a broken war horse at an auction because no one else would. Everything that happened after that, we did together. That is the whole point. None of us are strong alone. But together, we can change the galaxy." Valor pressed his head against her shoulder. Devastator made a low sound of agreement. Somewhere out there, in auction houses and military camps and forgotten corners of the galaxy, other broken creatures were learning about Lily Morgan. They were learning that they were not worthless. They were learning that someone believed in them. They were learning to hope. And hope, Lily had discovered, was the most powerful force in the universe. More powerful than plasma cannons. More powerful than military training. More powerful than anything the galaxy had ever known. It was the power of love. Simple, unconditional love. The human girl and her war horse looked out at the stars. "What do we do now?" Valor asked through their bond. Lily smiled. "We keep going. There are more creatures out there who need our help. More beings who need to know they are not alone. We have a lot of work to do." Valor's neural crest glowed bright. He was ready. They walked together into the ship that would carry them to their next mission. Behind them, the stars shone on. This was how humanity earned its place among the stars. Not through weapons or conquest. Not through being the strongest or the fastest. But through something simple and ancient and powerful. Kindness. Compassion. Love. The galaxy had called them weak. The galaxy had laughed at them. But in the end, it was the galaxy that learned from humanity. And everything changed. The next 3 months were the hardest of Lily's life. Every morning, she woke up before everyone else on the ship. She went to the cargo bay where Valor waited. And they trained. Lily knew she could not beat Thraxus in a normal fight. She had no combat training. She did not know how to attack or defend. She had never been in a real battle. but she had something that Thraxis did not have. She had her bond with Valor. So instead of learning how to fight, she learned how to connect. She practiced feeling Valor's emotions more clearly. She practiced sending her own thoughts to him more quickly. She learned to move with him, to think with him, to be one with him. Dr. Cole helped when he could. He monitored their bond and gave them advice. Kethril, the old Valthoran scientist, sent messages with training ideas. Even Commander Morgan helped, running drills and timing their movements. Valor changed during those months. His body grew stronger every day. His 6 legs, once thin and shaky, became powerful. His silver hide, once dull and scarred, began to shine. His 3 good eyes became sharp and bright. His plasma ability came back too. For the first time in his life, Valor could shoot lightning from his body. It was not as strong as other war horses. It was not as bright or as hot, but it was real. The most amazing change was his neural crest. It had been twisted and broken since he was born. The doctors had said it could never be fixed, but slowly, somehow, it was healing. The glow grew brighter every week. The twisted parts straightened just a little. Dr. Cole could not explain it. Neither could Kethril. "The bond is healing him," Kethril said in one of his messages. "Your connection is doing what our best medicine could not do. It is giving him a reason to live. It is giving him strength." But even with all these changes, Valor was still small. He was still scarred. He was still weaker than a normal war horse. And Devastator, the war horse of Thraxis, was one of the strongest creatures in the galaxy. 1 month before the fight, a video arrived from Thraxis. "Little human girl," the general said. His voice was deep and cruel. "I wanted you to see what you will face." The video showed Devastator training. The war horse was huge. Its silver body was covered in military upgrades. Metal plates protected its chest. Its eyes glowed with rage. When it shot plasma, the beam was so bright that the camera could barely capture it. Thraxis rode on its back, controlling it with perfect precision. They moved together like a machine. Every attack was timed perfectly. Every defense was unbreakable. "Withdraw now," Thraxis said. "Save yourself the shame. Admit that humans are nothing, and I will let you walk away." Lily watched the video 3 times. Then she deleted it. "He's trying to scare us," she told Valor. Through their bond, she could feel his fear. She could feel her own fear too, but she did not let it control her. "He wants us to give up before we even try. We will not give him that." The day of the fight arrived. The arena was on a planet called Celebration Prime. It was a floating stadium in space, big enough to hold 3 million aliens. Every seat was full. Beings from across the galaxy had come to watch. Most of them had come to see the human girl lose. The betting was completely one-sided. Almost everyone bet on Thraxis. The odds were 50-1 against Lily. People were not asking if she would lose. They were asking how fast she would lose. Lily walked into the arena with Valor beside her. She was wearing simple clothes. No armor, no weapons. Just a plain shirt and pants. The crowd made sounds of surprise and mockery. They had expected her to at least pretend to be ready for battle. Instead, she looked like she was going for a walk. Thraxis entered from the other side. He was riding Devastator. The war horse was even bigger in person than it had looked in the video. Its feet shook the ground with every step. Its eyes burned with fury. Thraxis himself was covered in ceremonial armor. It shone like gold. "You still have time to run," Thraxis called across the arena. His voice echoed off the walls. "Admit that you are nothing. Admit that your species is weak. I will be merciful." Lily did not answer. She put her hand on Valor's neck. She felt his fear and his courage mixing together. She felt her own heart beating fast. "We can do this," she told him through their bond. "I believe in you. I have always believed in you." Valor raised his head. For a moment, he did not look small or broken. He looked proud. He looked brave. "I believe in you too," he sent back. Lily climbed onto his back. She had no saddle, no reins, no control device. She did not need them. She and Valor were connected in a way that did not need equipment. The signal sounded. The fight had begun. Devastator charged immediately. The huge war horse crossed the arena in seconds. Thraxus expected to end the fight quickly. One powerful strike and the human girl would be finished, but Lily and Valor were not where he expected them to be. They moved sideways. Not away from the attack, but around it. Valor's smaller body was faster than Devastator's huge form. Before Thraxus could adjust, they were already somewhere else. The general turned and charged again. Again, Lily and Valor slipped away. They did not try to fight back. They just kept moving. This happened again and again. Thraxus attacked. Lily and Valor dodged. The arena filled with the sounds of Devastator's heavy feet hitting the ground. But none of those feet hit Valor, the crowd began to murmur. They had expected a quick finish. Instead, they were seeing something strange. The small war horse was making the big one look clumsy. "Stand and fight," Thraxus roared. His voice was filled with anger. "Stop running like a coward." Lily still did not answer. She was completely focused on Valor. Their minds were linked so tightly that she could feel everything he felt. She knew where he was going to move before he moved. She knew what he was going to do before he did it. This was not like the Valthurian bonds. Those were about command and control. This was about trust and love. They were not master and servant. They were partners. The fight continued for 20 minutes. Thraxus attacked dozens of times. Every attack missed. Devastator was getting tired. The huge war horse was burning energy faster than Valor's smaller body. Thraxus was getting angry. He had never faced an opponent like this. Every battle he had ever fought followed the same pattern. He was stronger, so he won. But strength did not help when his attacks could not land. "Enough!" he shouted. He pressed a button on his control device. Devastator's plasma ability activated. A wave of fire and lightning shot across the arena. It was so wide that there was no room to dodge. It was so fast that there was no time to run. Valor jumped. He jumped higher than any war horse had ever jumped. His 6 powerful legs pushed him into the air. The plasma wave passed underneath him, burning the ground where he had been standing. Lily felt her stomach drop as they reached the highest point. For a moment they hung in the air, weightless. Then something happened. Something that no one expected. Valor's neural crest blazed with light. His plasma ability activated, but instead of attacking, the plasma formed a shield around them. A ball of glowing energy that surrounded them completely. Devastator fired again. The plasma hit the shield and vanished. The energy was absorbed, not reflected. It disappeared like water into sand. Lily and Valor landed gently on the ground. The shield faded away. The arena was completely silent. No one had ever seen a warhorse use its plasma as a shield. The ability was designed for attack. It was supposed to destroy things, not protect them. What Valor had just done was supposed to be impossible, but Lily had never wanted a weapon. She had never wanted a creature built for destruction. She had wanted a friend. And friends protect each other. Thraxus stared at them. For the first time there was doubt in his eyes. "What are you?" he whispered. Lily looked at Valor. Through their bond, she felt his courage, his determination, his love. "We are partners," she said, "and we are not done yet." The next morning, Lily ran to find Dr. Cole. She grabbed his arm and pulled him to the cargo bay before he could even finish his breakfast. "Something happened," she said. "Last night. I felt him. I felt Valor in my mind." Dr. Cole looked at her carefully. He was a man who believed in science. He believed in things that could be measured and tested. What Lily was saying sounded impossible. "Show me," he said. Lily sat down beside Valor. She put her hand on his neck. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, just like she had done the night before. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the feeling came again, that warm touch inside her thoughts. That sense of another mind, different from her own. Valor's neural crest began to glow. Dr. Cole stared at his scanner. His eyes went wide. "This cannot be right," he said. "The scanner shows a neural connection between you two. But that is impossible. Humans do not have the brain structures for this." Your species has no telepathic ability at all. But it is happening, Lily said. She could feel Valor in her mind. He was curious about Dr. Cole. He wondered why the doctor looked so worried. It should not be happening, Dr. Cole said. According to everything we know about Valthuran biology, this connection requires specific neural pathways. You do not have those pathways. Valor's neural crest is damaged beyond repair. None of this makes any sense. But it was real. They tested it again and again over the next few weeks. Every test showed the same thing. Lily and Valor were connected. They could share feelings. They could sense each other's emotions. When Lily was happy, Valor's neural crest glowed brighter. When Valor was scared, Lily felt cold inside. The bond was not like the ones described in the Valthurian military books. Those bonds were precise and sharp. They let riders give exact commands to their war horses. They let war horses and riders fight as one perfect unit. This bond was different. It was softer, warmer. It was not about control. It was about connection. Dr. Cole could not explain it. Neither could any of the alien scientists Lily contacted. But word began to spread through the galaxy. A human girl had bonded with a war horse. A species with no telepathic ability had formed a neural connection with one of the most advanced war beasts ever created. Many aliens did not believe it. They said it was a trick or a lie. Humans were always telling stories that made themselves look special. This was just another example, but some aliens were curious. They wanted to see for themselves. 3 months after the bond first formed, a ship arrived at the constellation. It carried a group of Valtharian scientists. Their leader was an old alien named Kethril. He had spent his whole life studying war horses. He had helped create the breeding programs that made them. He knew more about these creatures than almost anyone in the galaxy. Kethril did not believe in the bond. He had come to prove it was fake. Human brains cannot connect with Valthurian neural crests, he said when he first met Lily. It is biologically impossible. Whatever you think is happening, you are wrong. Then test us, Lily said. See for yourself. Kethril tested them for 3 days. He used machines that Lily had never seen before. He scanned their brains and measured their thoughts. He watched them together and apart. On the 3rd day, he sat down in the cargo bay and did not move for a long time. I was wrong, he said finally. His voice was quiet. He sounded like a man whose whole world had just changed. The bond is real. It is the strongest bond I have ever measured. Stronger than any of our specially bred pairs. Stronger than anything I thought was possible. How? Lily asked. You said it was impossible. Kethril looked at her. His alien eyes were deep and old. We have been breeding war horses for thousands of years, he said. We have made them bigger, stronger, faster. We have improved their plasma abilities. We have perfected their neural crests. But we have always focused on one thing, combat efficiency. We wanted war horses that would be perfect weapons. Perfect tools. He paused and looked at Valor. The war horse was watching them. His neural crest glowed softly. We never considered that the bond might respond to something else, Kethril continued. Something that we thought was weakness. Something that has no military value at all. What? Lily asked. Love, Kethril said. Simple, unconditional love. You did not want Valor to be a weapon. You did not care if he could fight or follow commands. You just wanted him to be happy. You just wanted him to live. And somehow, that made the bond possible. Lily thought about this. It made sense in a strange way. All the Valthurian bonds were built on command and control. The rider was the master. The warhorse was the servant. But her bond with Valor was not like that. They were partners. They were equals. They were friends. Kethril stayed on the constellation for another week. He studied Lily and Valor every day. He wrote reports and sent them back to his homeworld. He said that what he had found would change everything his people knew about war horses, but not everyone was happy about his reports on Villa Prime. In the great halls where war beasts were bought and sold, Powerful aliens were reading about Lily and Valor. They did not like what they saw for thousands of years. War horses had been symbols of military power. The greatest generals rode the greatest war horses. The size of your war horse showed how important you were. The strength of your bond showed how skilled you were as a warrior. But now, a human child had formed a stronger bond than any general. A broken war horse that had been laughed at and rejected was more connected to its rider than the champions that sold for millions of credits. This was a threat to everything they believed. In one alien in particular was very angry. His name was Thraxus. He was a Kralvex general, one of the most feared warriors in the galaxy. His warhorse, Devastator, was famous across 100 worlds. They had won 47 battles together. They had never been defeated. Thraxus had been at the auction when Lily bought Valor. He had been one of the aliens who laughed. He had said that humans were weak and foolish. He had said that Valor was garbage. Now, everyone was talking about the human girl and her miracle bond. People were starting to question the old ways. They were starting to wonder if the Valtharian breeding programs had been wrong all along. Thraxus could not allow this. He had to prove that the old ways were right. He had to show the galaxy that a human child and a broken war horse were nothing compared to a true warrior and a true champion. He knew exactly how to do it. Under Confederacy law, anyone could challenge someone else to prove the worth of their war beast. It was an old tradition. In the ancient times, it meant a fight to the death. These days, it was more civilized, but it was still dangerous. Two war horses would face each other in an arena. They would fight until one could not continue. The winner would be proven right. The loser would lose everything. Thraxus sent his challenge across the galaxy. It reached the constellation 2 weeks after Kethril left. Commander Morgan read the message first. His face went pale. "Absolutely not," he said. "This is insane. Thraxus wants to fight you and Valor in an arena. He wants to destroy you both and prove that humans are worthless. I will not let this happen." "If I refuse, he wins anyway," Lily said. She had read the message too. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "Everyone will say I was lying about the bond. They will say humans are cowards. And Valor will always be known as the failure they said he was. Lily, Thraxus has won 47 battles. His war horse is 3 times the size of Valor. He has trained his whole life for combat. You have never fought anyone. You will lose." "Maybe," Lily said. "But I have to try." She looked at Valor. Through their bond, she could feel his emotions. He was scared. But he was also determined. He wanted this chance. He wanted to prove that he was not worthless. "We have to try," Lily said again. Commander Morgan closed his eyes. He looked like a man carrying a heavy weight. 3 months, he said. "That is when the challenge must happen, according to the tradition. You have 3 months to prepare." "Then we will be ready in 3 months," Lily said. She walked to Valor and put her hand on his neck. Through their bond, she sent him her determination, her courage, her love. "We can do this," she told him without words. Together. Together. He agreed. They had 3 months to prepare for the fight of their lives. The ship's doctor was a man named Henry Cole. He was 50 years old and he had gray hair and kind eyes. He had spent his whole life learning how to fix broken human bodies. But he had never seen anything like Valor. "I do not know anything about this creature," he told Lily on the first day. They were standing in the cargo bay. Valor was lying on the floor. He had not moved in hours. "I can help humans. I can even help some of the aliens we meet. But this warhorse is completely different. I do not know where to start." "Then we will learn together," Lily said, and that is what they did. The constellation was on a long mission. It would stay in alien space for many months. This meant that Lily could find information that most humans never saw. She spent every free moment reading about Valtharian warhorses. She read about their bodies. She read about their minds. She read about how they were born and how they died. What she learned made her sad. Valtharian warhorses were made, not born naturally. Scientists changed them before they were even born. They made them bigger and stronger. They gave them the power to shoot plasma from their bodies. They gave them the neural crest that let them bond with riders, but Valor had been born wrong. His body was too small. His neural crest was twisted. He could not bond with any rider. The people who made him had decided he was worthless. They sold him at the first auction when he was still young. Then he was sold again, and again. Each owner kept him for a little while, then gave up. Each owner treated him worse than the one before. By the time Lily found him, Valor had been alive for 7 years. He had never known kindness. He had never been healthy. He had given up hope a long time ago. Dr. Cole looked at all the information with Lily. Together, they made a plan. First, they had to fix Valor's body. He was too thin. His bones were weak. His immune system was failing. He had infections in 3 different places. The constellation did not have the right medicine for a warhorse. So Lily had to find it somewhere else. She contacted aliens on different planets. She asked for help. Most of them said no. Some of them laughed at her. But a few were curious enough to help. A Valtharian scientist sent her instructions for making special food that warhorses needed. A doctor on a space station sold her medicine that would fight the infections. A trader gave her nutrients that would help Valor's bones grow stronger. Getting these things was not easy. Lily had to trade for them. She gave away her personal belongings. She sold the jewelry her mother had left her. She worked extra jobs on the ship to earn credits. Her father watched all of this. He did not understand why she cared so much, but he helped when he could. He talked to aliens for her. He convinced the captain to let Valor stay on the ship. He stayed up late with her when Valor was very sick and she was afraid he would die. "Why are you doing this?" he asked her one night. Valor had just survived a very bad fever. Lily had not slept in 3 days. Her eyes were red and her hands were shaking. "Because Mom would have done the same thing," Lily said. Her mother had died when Lily was 12 years old. A sickness had taken her. But before she died, she had taught Lily something important. She had taught her that every living thing deserved kindness. Every creature, no matter how broken, deserved a chance. Commander Morgan did not say anything. He just put his arm around his daughter and held her close. The months passed slowly. Valor began to change. At first, the changes were small. He started to eat more. He started to stand up on his own. His breathing became easier. His infections went away. Then the bigger changes came. His silver skin, which had been dull and gray, started to shine a little. His 3 good eyes became brighter. His thin legs grew stronger. Dr. Cole was amazed. "I did not think this was possible," he said. "Every piece of information says he should be dead by now. But he is getting better. He's actually getting better." Lily was not surprised. She had believed in Valor from the beginning. She had never stopped believing, but there was still one problem. The neural crest, a warhorse's neural crest, was the most important part of its body. It was how they connected with their riders. It was how they communicated. Without a working neural crest, a warhorse was alone in a way that was hard to explain. It could not share its thoughts. It could not feel the emotions of others. It was trapped inside its own head forever. Valor's neural crest was still twisted and broken. Dr. Cole said there was nothing they could do about it. The damage had happened before Valor was born. It was part of his body, like his bones or his blood. Lily contacted many Valtharian doctors. She asked if there was any way to fix the neural crest. They all said the same thing. "The kindest thing would be to end its life," a famous Valtharian scientist told her over a video call. "This creature will never bond with anyone. It will never serve its purpose. It will always be alone. You are keeping it alive for nothing." "What if I do not care about its purpose?" Lily asked. "What if I just want it to be happy?" The scientist stared at her. His alien face showed confusion. "Why would you want that?" He asked. "It is just a war beast. It was made to fight. If it cannot fight, it has no value." "You are wrong," Lily said. "Every life has value. Every single one. The scientist ended the call. Lily did not give up. She kept looking for help. She kept reading and learning. And every day she spent time with Valor. She talked to him. The databases said war horses could not understand words. They said war horses could only communicate through their neural bond. But Lily talked to him anyway. She told him about Earth. She described the blue oceans and the green forests. She told him about rain and snow and sunshine. She told him about her mother, who had been kind and strong. She told him about her father, who loved her even when he did not know how to show it. She told Valor that he was brave, that he was strong, that he was going to be okay. Day after day, she sat beside him and talked, sometimes for hours. The crew of the Constellation thought she was crazy. They whispered about the strange girl who talked to an animal that could not understand her, but Lily did not care what they thought. She knew something they did not know. Valor was listening. She could see it in his eyes. The way they followed her when she moved. The way they brightened when she came into the room. The way they softened when she spoke gently to him. He could not respond. He could not send thoughts or feelings through his broken neural crest. But he was listening. He was understanding. And slowly, so slowly that no one noticed at first, he was starting to hope again. One night, 6 months after Lily had bought him, something happened. Lily was reading to Valor. It was a story about a brave knight and a dragon. She liked to read to him because it passed the time and seemed to calm him. She was sitting on the floor beside him, her back against his warm side. Then she felt something. It was like a touch, but not on her body. It was a touch inside her mind. Something soft and warm. Something curious. Something that was not her own thoughts. She stopped reading. She looked at Valor. His neural crest was glowing. Faintly, weakly, but glowing. For the first time ever, it was making light, and inside her mind, she felt him, not words, not clear thoughts. Just feelings, warmth, curiosity, hope, and something else. Trust. Valor trusted her. Lily put her hand on his neck. Tears were running down her face. "I can feel you," she whispered. "Valor, I can feel you." The war horse made a sound. It was soft and low. It might have been a word in his own language. It might have been nothing at all. But in her mind, Lily knew what it meant. Friend. The auction hall on the planet Viller Prime was huge. It was so big that a person could not see from one end to the other. The walls were made of dark metal, and the ceiling was so high that it disappeared into shadows. Lights floated in the air and moved slowly like lazy fish in water. Thousands of aliens had come to this place. They came from many different worlds. Some were tall and thin with blue skin. Some were short and covered in hard shells like crabs. Some had 4 arms. Some had no arms at all. They all came here for one reason. They wanted to buy war beasts. War beasts were living weapons. They were animals that had been changed and made stronger over thousands of years. The aliens used them to fight in battles. The best war beasts could breathe fire or shoot lightning from their bodies. They could run faster than ships could fly. They could survive in the cold darkness of space. The most famous war beasts in the galaxy were the Valtharian war horses. They were not really horses. They just looked a little bit like the horses from Earth. They had 6 legs instead of 4. They had 4 eyes instead of 2. They had a special part on their heads called a neural crest. This crest could glow with light. It let the war horse connect its mind to its rider. When they were connected, the rider and the war horse became like one being. They could fight together perfectly. Today, many war horses were being sold. Rich generals and wealthy lords had already bought the best ones. They paid millions of credits for the biggest and strongest animals. The crowd cheered when a massive war horse was led into the arena. It was as big as a small building. Its silver skin glowed like metal. Fire dripped from its mouth, but now the auction was almost over. The auctioneer, a 6-armed alien named Gore-Tex, looked at his list. He did not look happy. "Lot number 47, he said. His voice echoed through the hall. "A Valtharian war horse?" The gates opened. The crowd leaned forward to see. Then they started to laugh. The war horse that walked into the arena was small. It was barely half the size of the other war horses that had been sold today. Its 6 legs were thin, and they shook as it walked. Its silver skin was dull and covered in old scars. One of its 4 eyes was white and blind. The neural crest on its head was twisted and wrong. It did not glow at all. The war horse stopped in the middle of the arena. It seemed to know that everyone was laughing at it. Its head dropped low. Its 3 good eyes looked at the ground. "This war horse comes from champion bloodlines," Cortex said. He was trying his best. "It can survive in space for 30 minutes. It has plasma discharge abilities, and—" "That thing is garbage," a big alien shouted. He was a Kralvex, one of the warrior species. He had a hard shell and sharp claws. It would die in the first battle. "I would not even feed it to my pets." More laughter filled the hall. "The bidding starts at 50,000 credits, Cortex said. Nobody moved. 40,000? Silence. 30,000? 20? "I will give you 5,000 to take it away," someone yelled. "Maybe I can sell its skin to the leather makers." The war horse seemed to understand. It curled in on itself. It looked like it wanted to disappear. In the back of the crowd, a human girl was watching. Her name was Lily Morgan. She was 17 years old. She had brown hair and brown eyes. She was small, even for a human. She was here because her father had brought her. Her father was Commander Daniel Morgan of the Earthship Constellation. He was here to meet with alien leaders. He had nowhere else to leave his daughter. Lily was supposed to stay in the viewing area. She was supposed to be quiet and not cause trouble. But she could not stop looking at the war horse in the arena. She could not stop seeing how sad it was. How alone. She pushed through the crowd. Aliens moved out of her way. Some of them gave her strange looks. Humans were still new to this part of the galaxy. Most aliens thought humans were weak and foolish. Lily did not care what they thought. "I will pay 20,000 credits, she said. Her voice was not loud, but somehow everyone heard it. The hall went quiet. Then the laughter came back, louder than before. "Little human girl," Cortex said. He sounded kind but also confused. "Do you know what you are buying? This is a war beast. It needs special care. It needs military equipment. It needs a rider who can connect minds with it. Humans cannot do that. You have no telepaths. This animal would be useless to you?" "I understand," Lily said. 20,000 credits. "This is stupid," the Kralvex warrior said. "What would a human child do with a war horse? Your species can barely fly your own ships. You have no idea how to handle a creature like this." Lily looked at him. She was not afraid. "Then you should not mind if I buy it," she said. Nobody else made an offer. The Kralvex would not spend money on something he had just called worthless. The other buyers had already decided that Lot 47 was junk. "Sold," Cortex said. "To the human." 20 minutes later, Lily was standing outside the auction hall. Her father was beside her. His face was red and he looked very tired. "Lily," he said, "you just spent all your education money on a broken alien animal. How are we going to get it home? Where are we going to keep it? What is your plan here?" Lily was not looking at her father. She was looking at the transport cage where the war horse lay curled up. Its breathing was weak. Its eyes were closed. It looked like it was waiting to die. "His name is Valor," Lily said quietly, "and I'm going to save him." Commander Morgan had been a soldier for more than 20 years. He had fought pirates and explored dangerous space. But he had never won an argument with his daughter when she had that look in her eyes. "Fine," he said. "But you are going to explain this to the ship's captain. And you are going to take care of this animal yourself. Every single day." "I will," Lily said. She walked to the transport cage. She put her hand against the bars. Inside, the war horse opened its 3 good eyes. It looked at her for a moment. Something passed between them. Not words. Not thoughts. Just a feeling. A tiny spark of hope. "It is going to be okay," Lily whispered. "I promise. It is going to be okay." The war horse did not move. But it did not look away either. That night, the constellation left Velar Prime. In the cargo bay, in a cage that was too small and too cold, a dying warhorse slept. And beside the cage, sitting on the hard metal floor, a human girl kept watch. She did not know if she could save him. She did not know if anyone could. But she was going to try with everything she had.